Top 5 dangers to motorcycle riders nobody talks about. Let's go for a ride. You are watching CycleCruza's all-in-one motorcycle channel. Subscribe today. Continually video suggestions, but you may find what you're looking for by visiting my website at CycleCruza.com and click on the menu tab My Videos. And those are a bunch of playlists with all of my videos categorized in them to make it easier for you to navigate through.
A lot of us bikers, we don't do a pre-inspection on our bike. I check for a few things. I should probably take the time to really do the full check. You need to check for oil leaks, man. That should be like really one of the main things you need to check for, is to make sure this baby is not leaking any oil. You don't want to take your finger and rub it underneath where the oil drain plug is and make sure there's no oil residue that comes on your glove. Because I'll tell you guys, William Dunlap died not too long ago recently. He was racing, practicing for a race in Dublin, man, road racing, and he was man, he got some oil. They believe that it was an oil leak and it went on his rear tire. He lost control, man. And you know, out there, like you know, with the Isle of the Man, when they lose control on that bike, guys, it's pretty much imminent death, because their guys are doing triple-digit speeds flying around them corners, man. I have no idea why his bike leaked. Of course, nobody knows why. If he knew why, he wouldn't be dead right now. But I'll tell you guys that when you change your oil, you need to make sure that you are torquing the oil plug to the correct spec listed by the manufacturer. And you need to make sure before you torque it, you want to check the threads of the drain plug. You want to make sure that they're not worn in any way. And when you change your oil, you want to make sure to put a fresh sealing washer on the drain plug every single time. I know a lot of people skimp on that because they're trying to save a little bit of money, but it ain't worth it, man. You want to make sure you know that's on right, and you want to make sure you don't cross thread that oil drain plug. You want to make sure it's on there, goes on there flush. Take your time, go slow with it. Like I said, guys, when I work on my bike, I'm like a surgeon, man. I don't play. Like I said, you get an oil leak, that could be death for you, man. Because if it leaks oil from the oil drain plug and it gets on your rear tire and you're flying by, man, it can set you up for a real hooked up day.
What happened here is I caught a case of dry eyes where my eyes started to severely burn to the point where I couldn't keep my eyes open, and I had to pull over on the side of the road. Luckily, I was able to stay calm and pull over on the side of the road, narrowly missing a ditch in that front yard on that country road, which is dimly lit, by the way. And I was able to dab my eyes with a damp paper towel that I keep in my pocket, which helped relieve the condition. And as you can see, that truck whizzed by me super close and startled me. I had no business riding at night. I just happened to get caught out there at night. As I told you in previous videos, riding at night is very dangerous to a biker because we have a lot of people out there that drink and drive. You got texters. You know, we're already invisible to cars pretty much during the day. So, you know, at night it's even worse. And you see I wear high vis and it has reflectors on my backpack and my helmet and everything. And just some car drivers are just, I don't know, they're in another world sometimes. But I wanted to talk about a danger to bikers that really nobody talks about, and that's incurring an eye condition out while you're riding your motorcycle, which can be very, very dangerous to a biker. Our eyes are everything to us while we're riding because we have to be able to obviously navigate our motorcycles. And this is allergy season, the time of the year where a lot of people get itchy eyes, watery eyes, irritated eyes, or burning eyes like me, which I don't normally get burning eyes. This is something that happens very rarely. I always, before I leave, I always do put in eye drops, though, as a precaution. I carry eye drops and also carry a damp rag, like I told you guys. I highly recommend you carry a damp rag just in case you get maybe some sweat that gets in your eyes, or even it can help calm your eyes if you get any allergies to happen to you. But a tip is to just stay calm no matter what you do and try to pull over to the side of the road for safety as soon as you can. And I highly recommend that you stay on the far right side of the lane. Avoid, riding in the middle lane on the highway or on major streets, because as a biker, you may need to pull over at any time. You definitely want to make sure to take care of your eyes before you ride. Like I said, put those eye drops in that your doctor prescribes or whatever. But that's just something I wanted to make you aware of.
A lot of people talk about, cars pulling out on you. I mean, that's like the number one threat to motorcycle riders that motorcycle riders fear, is a car pulling out, making a left turn out in front of you, and you end up nailing the car and having a real f***ed up day. But there's even a greater threat to motorcycle riders, that most of the time when it happens, a motorcycle rider will get killed or seriously maimed, is wayward cars on a two-lane road. And that's why I tell you guys that lane position is so important out here. And a lot of you guys scoff at my recommendation to ride just right of center. A lot of you guys, you say you should ride, just right of the divide line so that you have the greatest visibility. But I'll tell you guys that, in my opinion, and I'll even show you proof that riding just right of center can actually save your life. I actually had a viewer that thanked me for my advice that he felt helped save his life because of a wayward car. I mean, I'll tell you guys that, these cars, you think, everybody's fine, they're going to stay in a straight line. You don't know what's going on with people. People can be drunk. They can be trying to text or whatever, or maybe their car malfunctions and it throws their car split second right into your lane. If you're right here next to the line, you're at the greatest risk. There's no way you're getting out of it if a wayward car comes at you, man. You're done. You get nailed by an oncoming car doing 35, 40 plus miles per hour, and you're doing 35, 40 plus miles per hour, and they nail you, man. It's boom, collide, head-on collision. You're done. There's no coming away from that, guys. But I'll tell you, if you're riding just right of center, and I tell you guys to use different parts of the lane. You don't have to stay just right of center. You know what I'm saying? If there's no cars here, you don't see any cars ahead, that's fine, riding anywhere in the lane that you want, really. But see, I see a car coming up here, I'm switching just right of center because I don't want to have a fucked up today. If that car split second comes into my lane, I have a split second, I can throw myself over here to the right shoulder, the right side here, and I'm gonna be much safer over here falling into this ditch or whatever than getting nailed by 10 tons of steel. And I'll tell you guys, recently in the news, there was a man and woman riding, the man riding the motorcycle, he's the driver of the motorcycle, the woman on the back as a passenger. She was pregnant, drunk driver, wayward car. He swerved over into the motorcycle rider's lane, killed the male driver of the motorcycle, and the female rider, she didn't get killed, but she lost her baby, and she got, I guess, hurt pretty bad, obviously, but her husband or boyfriend took the brunt of that impact, but she ended up losing her baby and her man too. It's really sad, and I guarantee you, dude was probably, I don't know for sure, I can't prove it, but I could probably bet that he was probably riding just right of the center divide line. Danger to bikers that you need to understand and to avoid is panicking. That really gets a lot of bikers into trouble and sets them up for a real fooked up day, is when they panic.
Usually the #1 error a rider will make when they panic is they'll grab all front brake really hard and oftentimes get thrown over the handlebars of the bike, especially if their bike doesn't have combined ABS brakes. My advice is to always brake at every single stop with both front and rear brake, because when you apply the rear brake with the front, it will help stabilize the bike. And when you do this every single time, it will condition yourself to do it at every single stop, so that if a car does pull out in front of you, you're going to brake with both brakes and avoid being thrown over the handlebars. Also, you need to condition yourself to not panic.
The car runs up on them in the back, they panic, they freeze up, they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, like I tell you guys over and over, I've said in many videos, you got to ride out here as though each and every one of these cars are going to get you. And what are you going to do? How are you going to avoid the trouble?
Here's a great example to share with you all. This situation happened to me over 6 years ago on the highway during rush hour traffic. I was eyeballing an SUV behind me that had been tailing me for some time, and I felt uneasy about it, and I felt like something bad was going to happen. And sure enough, this SUV shot past me to the right side of me, which is not only illegal, but is dangerous to a motorcycle rider. But luckily, I stayed calm. Had I panicked, it could have set me up for a real effed up day. If I had to do it over again, I would have pulled over on the right shoulder and let him pass. Here's another example. Back in the summer of 2013, my first time on Ohio Route 555, the first corner was a blind turn, and I kept my eyes fixated straight ahead, and that's where my bike went, so I ran wide instead of following the white line on the right side. But I didn't panic, and that's what saved me. By the way, the proper way to handle this blind turn to avoid target fixation, follow the white line on the right side with your eyes, but slow down because you don't know what's on the other side. However, this is the one and only time I did panic that could have set me up for a real effed up day. What happened here, that white car was getting ready to make a right turn, so I'm like, okay, I can go ahead and make a left turn. Nope, that blue car shot out of nowhere. Luckily, he stopped in time. If I had to do it over, I would have made sure the road was 100% clear. Lesson learned.
But I tell you, if you are prepared in your mind mentally that this car is going to go run over here in the lane, or he's going to pull out or whatever.
And you'll less likely panic in that situation because you're mentally prepared for it. You're expecting the car to attack you. It's like playing in a video game. When you go to the next screen, you're waiting for a character to jump out at you and attack you, and you're going to be ready. Same with the streets here. You're going to see these cars as though they're going to swerve on you, pull out in front of you, get you from the back, etc. You need to react before they make their moves, such as bonking your horn before you pass a car, etc. Be prepared. This is defensive riding. This is what's going to keep you safe out here on the streets.
3/4 of motorcycle accidents are because of cars. But you know what? You know, 2/3 of motorcycle accidents are because of rider error, because of our fault. We are to blame. You need to look in the mirror and look at yourself and the type of riding you do out here. And the main reason, most of the time, a lot of the time, because, you know, you're going to end up with an effed up day is because of yourself. You know, not these cars. Cars, like I said, a lot of them are to blame. But look in the mirror, because it's probably you. Because we get so many people out here They're like the hot dog it out here on the streets, doing wheelies, racing each other, squid activity, knee slides, elbow slides, basically being a street Rossi out here. It's because, and when you do that, obviously it ups your risk, and a lot of times it doesn't end good. You end up having a real fooked up day trying to do a knee slide around these corners around here. You hit a patch of gravel. It's because you were going too fast around these corners or speeding, doing whatever wheelies. You have only yourself to blame. But a lot of the times you guys run wide, or you go cross a double yellow and end up in a car, and then the poor cars, the first thing that people like to blame is the cars. You know, it's a lot of time it's the riders. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to. A lot of you guys are noobs out here, and you think you know how to ride, and you start flying around these corners or whatnot, and then you panic or whatnot, and then you end up having a real effed up day because maybe you get target fixation, or you hit a patch of gravel, or animals fly across. Even seasoned riders out here, like I said, is you can't. None of us can predict a deer jumping out of the woods here, or squirrels, small animals, whatever. There, hey, get the out of there, man! Damn squirrel. Yep. You look in the mirror and you say, man, I'm the one that's riding like a damn fool out here, and it's yourself that's going to possibly set you up for an effed up day. Hey, for those of you guys that want to get my gear, you know, my camel pants, boots, gloves, my new dual sport helmet, my new winter jacket, everything, I always include links in the description and comment section of my videos, or go to my website at CycleCruza.com, click on the menu tab, My Gear. Hey guys, hit thumbs up.
Hit thumbs up. Check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and check out my other channel, Moto, where I customize a van for my motorcycle so I can live in my van with my motorcycle and travel across the country anywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Moto.